David didn't notice his hands were sweating until his mouse slipped. His screen was full of spreadsheets, charts, and email threads. Normal work, normal day. But his mind was nowhere near the office. It was trapped in a single name he should have been avoiding. Lara. His phone buzzed under the desk. A message from her lit up the screen like a match. I can't stop thinking about last night. David's throat tightened. Not because he didn't want her, but because he did. Too much. Across his desk sat a framed photo of Amelie, his wife. 6 years together. A life built on routines, trust, and the kind of love that feels safe because it's steady. David stared at the photo, then at Lara's message. He typed, "I miss you," deleted it, typed again, deleted again, as if a backspace could erase what he'd already done. Then his phone buzzed again. Not Lara. A new email notification. No name, no subject line, just a single sentence. I know your secret. David's stomach went cold. He opened it with shaking fingers. The message was short, precise, impossible. Quiet bar, Tuesday night, back booth, your hand on her knee. David's blood turned to ice. No one was supposed to know about that bar. No one was supposed to know he'd told Amelie he had a late meeting. No one was supposed to know how close he was to destroying his own life on purpose. A second email arrived before he could breathe. You have two choices, David. His heart hammered in his ears. End it or lose everything. David looked around the office, searching faces, searching for a glance that lingered too long. A smirk, a watcher. Nothing, but his phone buzzed again. This time, it wasn't a threat. It was a promise. Tonight, if you go to her again, your wife will find out. David sat perfectly still, pretending to work, while his entire life began to collapse in silence. Because suddenly, the affair wasn't just a temptation anymore. It was a trap, and someone had been watching long before David ever realized he wasn't alone. David sat at his desk, pretending to work. The office sounded normal, keyboards tapping, someone laughing near the printer, the distant hum of a meeting room door closing. But inside David's chest, nothing was normal. His phone buzzed. Lara again. I can't stop thinking about last night. David swallowed hard. He should have ignored it. He should have turned the phone face down and focused on the life he actually lived. Instead, he stared at the message until it felt like it was burning into his skin. Amelie's photo sat on his desk. Amelie smiling, warm and trusting. Amelie believing every late meeting and every project deadline without question. David typed a reply, stopped, deleted it, typed again. His hands were shaking. Then another notification popped up. Not a text, an email. No subject line, no sender name he recognized. Just one sentence. Be careful, I know your secret. David's stomach dropped. He opened it. The message was short, clean, and terrifyingly specific. It described the quiet bar he'd met Lara in, the back booth, the exact night. Details nobody should have known unless they'd been watching. Before David could even think, another message arrived. You have two choices: end it or lose everything. David looked around the office, scanning faces. Everyone looked normal. Nobody was starring. Nobody was smiling. But he couldn't shake the feeling that the air itself had changed. That afternoon, Lara texted again. I need to see you. David stared at the words, heart racing, palms sweating. He told himself he would stop. He told himself he loved Amelie. Then he typed, tonight. David told Amelie he had a late meeting. She kissed his cheek and said, don't work too hard. The kindness made him feel sick. He met Lara at a quiet bar tucked away from the main streets, dim lights, low music, strangers who didn't look up. Lara smiled the moment she saw him. I thought you might not come, she said. David forced a breath. I couldn't stay away. Lara's fingers brushed his hand like it was the most natural thing in the world. And David hated how quickly his body forgot his vows. For a while, it almost felt like he could keep the two lives separate. Then his phone buzzed. Unknown email notification. He didn't open it right away. He tried to keep smiling, tried to keep listening as Lara laughed. But the screen lit again and again. Finally, he opened it under the table. You're with her right now. David's blood ran cold. Another email arrived immediately. Tell Amelie the truth, or I will. David's face tightened. Lara noticed. What's wrong? David forced a smile. Nothing work. But he couldn't enjoy the night anymore, because the thrill had turned into fear, and fear changes everything. After that night, David tried to stop. He lasted 2 days. Lara texted, sweet and impatient. I miss you, I need you. David's resistance cracked like thin glass. He told Amelie he had to stay late again. He walked through rain-soaked streets to Lara's apartment, his coat damp, his heart pounding like he was committing a crime, because he was. Lara opened the door, eyes bright. You came, she whispered. David stepped inside like he didn't have a choice. And that was the truth he wouldn't say out loud. Afterward, he walked home alone through empty streets, rain soaking him to the bone. His phone buzzed. Lara, tonight again. Then the unknown email buzzed right after. Still lying, David stopped walking. His breath fogged in the air. He stared at the screen. Another message arrived, colder. Your wife deserves to know.
If this story hits you, you can support the channel with a quick hype.
Who you really are. David's stomach twisted. He had wanted danger. He just hadn't wanted consequences. David came home late. Amelie was on the couch, the TV playing softly. She looked up with the smallest pause, just long enough for David to feel it. You've been busy lately, she said. David forced a casual laugh. Work's insane. Amelie nodded, but her eyes stayed on him a second too long. That night, David lay in bed beside her, staring at the ceiling. His phone buzzed again. Unknown email. Tomorrow night, end it. And if you don't, she will find out. David's chest tightened, because now he knew what the watcher wanted. Not just to expose him, to control him. The next evening, Lara texted him, "Meet me at the park, no more hiding." David hesitated. Then he went anyway. Fog curled around the streetlights. The paths were wet. The city felt too quiet, like it was holding its breath. Lara was waiting near a bench, her silhouette blurred by mist. "You're here," she said, smiling like nothing could touch her. David's voice came out rough. "This has to stop." Lara's smile faded. "What?" David swallowed hard. "Someone knows. Someone's threatening me." Lara stared at him. "What are you talking about?" David pulled out his phone and showed her the emails. Her face changed, real fear, real shock. "I didn't do that," Lara whispered. David's heart hammered harder. So if it was Lara, then who? His phone buzzed again. Unknown email. Good, now you're both listening. David felt his blood turn to ice. He looked around the park. The fog, the empty path. Then another message arrived. "Look behind you." David turned and froze. Amelie stood under the streetlight, not shouting, not crying, just standing there with her phone in her hand. Her face was calm in the most terrifying way, like something in her had already broken cleanly in half. David's mouth opened, but no words came. Amelie lifted her phone slightly. "I got the emails too," she said quietly. David's knees went weak. Lara took a step back. Amelie didn't even look at her. Her eyes stayed on David. "I didn't want to believe it," Amelie said. "So I needed proof." David's throat tightened. "This isn't what it looks like." Amelie's voice stayed flat. "It's exactly what it is." David stepped forward instinctively. "Please, Amelie." Amelie shook her head once. "No," she said, "don't come closer." The fog swallowed the space between them. David looked from Amelie to Lara, then back again, and the watcher buzzed one last time. Unknown email. Now you both know the truth. Amelie's eyes didn't change. She looked at David like he was a stranger wearing her husband's face. Then she turned and walked away into the fog without running, without screaming, just leaving. David stood under the streetlight, phone shaking in his hand, realizing the affair hadn't just cost him a marriage. It had cost him the version of himself he could live with.
If you've ever felt this kind of pain, don't walk through it alone. Hit subscribe and stay with us. More real stories are coming.